It has been just over 2 months now since a gunman opened fire in Lewiston, killing 18 people there and injuring 13 people.
As we enter into the new year, we are all waiting for an independent commission looking into the Lewiston mass shootings to get down to work. No one wants answers more than the families who lost their loved ones that day.
Tonight, we hear from the widow of one of those victims, Steve Vozzella, one of the people killed at the second site of the shooting there, Schmenge's Bar and Grill. News Center Maine's Jack Mohammed joins us live in studio tonight to talk about his conversation with Megan Vozzella about the man she knew and loved. Hi, Jack.
Hey, Brian and Zach, that's right. Stephen Vozzella was one of 4 members of Maine's deaf community who were killed that night, all of them playing in a cornhole tournament. My conversation with his wife this week shows why she's deciding to speak out now about the legacy her husband leaves behind and questions she is still hoping to have answered.
I met Stephen through a good friend of mine, Heather. He was working at a pizza place at that time, and we kind of got introduced there. It was near his house, and and there was, I think, a little bit of twinkle in each one of our eyes.
Months after tragedy, Megan Vozzella proudly remembers memories of the strong and caring relationship she and Stephen had.
And my parents were like, "Who was this guy?" And after that, it was just like a very natural thing. Like, we just fell in love, and I mean, that looking back, that was 2009.
2 weeks before their first wedding anniversary, his life was taken by a gunman who went on a rampage, killing Stephen, his friends, and many more in 2 different locations.
It really hit me hard. There wasn't like his giggle or his voice or him around the house, and we always used to tease each other, and we had a very playful and loving relationship. And every time he'd leave work, he'd always say, "Oh, I love you, I'll be back, and I'll see you later." And there's a whole different kind of silence in my house now.
October 25th, before the evening, it was a normal day.
And that was the last time I talked to my husband. We were just talking about the car and regular life stuff. It was a regular day.
Then day turned to evening.
I felt something inside. I was like, "Ooh, something's wrong." So I grabbed my phone, and my friend texted me and said, "Stephen got shot." And I mean, I just thought to myself, it was almost like I was letting go of reality. I thought, no, this can't be it.
Megan drove to Lewiston that night from their home in the Paris area. She tells us, like many members of the deaf community, they didn't know for a long time the true extent of what was happening.
All I remember was that, he was outside, and he died outside in the night.
And the reason Megan wants to talk now is not only working to overcome her grief, but to stand up for the deaf community.
As the deaf community, we felt, often we feel, and we did in this situation, that we were getting information kind of last. And there was a lot of mixed emotions about having access to information and communication, but also the extreme loss.
Also making sure that we know that her husband was more than a victim of the shooting.
He was a very humble man, very easygoing. He was the kind of guy that would never say no. Every time someone needed something, they'd always say, "Hey, Stephen, I need help."
A proud and devoted father.
He was always there. And like I said, Bella's a daddy's girl. And, her entire 12 years with her dad, they were always doing things together.
Now navigating their children's future.
She's still really feeling some anger inside, and she's hurt that her father's gone, and she can't figure out, like, why my dad? Why did my dad get shot?
And her own journey to making sure this kind of shooting never happens again.
I really feel like it was a systemic breakdown, and there were some things that could have been done to prevent this. I mean, they could have taken his gun. I think that there are gun access laws that should be changed, Act 15. I'm not advocating for a total restriction of guns. I'm just saying that there needs to be a better law to protect people.
Megan says she wants to make sure people feel safe again in the state and knows her life will forever be guided now by Stephen.
You know, we have been shown the true meaning of what life is short is, and you know, you never get anybody back once they're gone, you know.
Forever in her family's memory, now forever in ours.
I know that he will be with me on that journey. And I know that in his legacy, we're still going to continue all those things he loved, like camping and activities. And so he's always here.
Megan tells me that Stephen was a big athlete and he loved the outdoors. His love for cornhole is what brought him to Schmenge's. She says it's hard, but she's going to keep doing things that Stephen loved to do to keep his memory alive. Brian, Zach.
Jack, thank you for sharing Megan's story tonight.